run. I tried to do it with the other song, and I tried to run this at the same time, and it was just going. Yeah. So when we went over that mixing thing, the like making it mixable for DJs, but I didn't like go into detail on that. I just said that it was like you want to make it mixable for DJs, but I didn't explain why or how to do that. So what I meant was like these parts right here. That is loud as fuck. Right here. That's when you would mix it in, right? Like if you're playing it in, you would mix it in on this quiet part because you don't want a lot building up right before someone mixes it in, right? So at every line I have like intro, body, build up, drop. I have a spot. Even that little gap there was a spot. And then right after that spot, you want to put an impact. Because, you know, when you're going up there, you can cut it real quick, and the impact covers the shit. It covers the stuff you don't want people to hear. And that's with drops, too. So, like, on this middle part here, like those, you put those in there for doubles and stuff. So, like, that part there, you would want to put, like, this would be maybe a mix-in so that you hit the breakdown, right? I have the same part right here. There's almost nothing right there. So you could mix in a completely different song. But this is why you want to label it too. Every little label here, you want to have a drop in the lows or just a drop in sound in general so that you can, that's a drop. You don't want to do that. But you want a drop in the sonic character of the song so that DJs can mix it in. Right. And then you want your intro and your outro, like this, the extended intro here, you want that in because you can mix that over the drop of the previous song, right? And then your mix out, you don't want a lot going on. This is going to be, because with this, there's no tonal elements. You can mix it into a different key. You can mix it into a different BPM. There's nothing at the end here that keeps a DJ in, what is this, 170 fucking 9A or whatever it is. This gives DJs an out. You want your song to be a toolkit so that when other DJs play it, they're not like, okay, how do I mix out of this? How do I, it has the longest intro ever. I have to kill the energy. How am I going to mix this in? You want to build your song as the best product for another DJ to play. Yeah. What was the other one I was going to make? Oh, the sound design. Yeah, let's just do a brand new sound design one.
Do fucking Serum.
Oh, bro. I know. That's like the highest search too. Sure. It's the highest search topic, and I'm like,
I look it up all the fucking time.
So my tell me what you think of this. I was going to do that blackout template's pretty simple, right? Yeah. I was going to do an even more simple one that just has a basic drum beat, 2 sounds, and maybe like a couple little things in here to make it interesting, and then very minimal FX. That way it's...
Make a song in like 15 minutes like Marauder or some shit like that.
We could definitely do that.
Tear out dubstep. How to make tear out dubstep in like 15 minutes. Not 15 minutes, but like...
Yeah. I want that to translate on TikTok too. Like, I'm trying to think, would it be worth it to like fast forward that whole process, show the song, and say, this is how I did it, and then, like... Right, yeah. Like a sped up version of me just dropping all the shit in there and tweaking stuff, saying this is what it sounds like, this is how I made it.
Right.
So it's not like a
pause it and stuff too,
Yeah, it's not a long form 30-minute video because you need those, but people on TikTok aren't looking for that. They don't want that right then. They want an easy, quick little tip.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think
yeah, that's what I do. Do like a fucking just your basic ass like found a drum loop and then I got a bass and I found this and I found that and then you're just like that and then they can start diving into your content to go more complex.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the biggest net possible for right now. I'm not trying to sell templates to people that are even on my level because I would collab with those guys. I want to sell those to the guys that are slightly below me or straight beginners because I think I fucked up learning this. Like honestly, if I had something that like what I'm making now, I would be years ahead of where I am.
Right.
You know, but you just don't know where to look because no one's telling you the terminology for shit. Let's do a Serum.
Fucking close. Everybody just
The
It's crazy how many producers like on YouTube that are fucking crazy good, but they don't even like put their shit on SoundCloud. If they do, it's very like not mainstream or anything. Like,
you know Mayflower on it. He's an amazing producer. I've never seen him at a festival, never seen him in a show, anything. He's an amazing producer, and he explains shit really well. And
probably just makes his money off that, low key.
yeah, I mean if I could do just this all day and make money by doing that, like I hope I can. But that's like a dream. I love doing this shit. But okay, let's go with that bass that I was using there. This one's good. That one's cool. But I think I want that other one. That was the one though. I think it was a lead. This one I use a lot, and it's basic as fuck. Let's do this, because this one will... See what I'm doing there? I'm finding that sweet spot. Right. You want most of these presets come with the things on the side, the little hotkeys, and those are the ones that you want to tune real quick. Like when you make the song, you want to tune it real quick, just get it sounding kind of okay, and then come back to it and do the little minor details. So sometimes sound design sessions happen in the song too, because you don't know if it's gonna fit or not. But sometimes you make a badass one, and you're like, or you use this one, like me, I use this one all the time. So if I make stuff for this, I'm probably gonna use it in another song. It just sounds like me. So we'll do a D. Yeah. I write in D a lot. I think it sounds the coolest.
Yeah, you normally say D sharp.
D sharp. The sub for me hits way better. It used to be F sharp and E flat were like the standard for bass music, but sub technology has gotten so good it can hit lower. So it used to be like, now it's more, because it can, I don't know, sub technology is fucking killing it right now. Okay, so let's make, what I do here is I'll go do one of these. Boom, boom, boom. Do a long one, and then right after it, I'll do some like short ones. Then maybe like one of these. And then this one, I'll go over here and I'll do a pitch bend on it, so that you can get a little variation in the sound. So go like up and down, or even like a saw type thing. That would be kind of cool. Do you know how I did that? Like you could just click that wheel there and do that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Should probably put that on this one so people know what's going on. Fuck. And then you can, when you're in automation, you can duplicate like the same way you duplicate notes and stuff. It makes it way faster. So you get a little variation with the sound. And then so I'm cheating because I have Rift, but let's make it like user friendly. Let's make the riser.
Okay, yeah.
That would be a lot more simple, like a bar riser. Yeah. Go. Where are you, bud? Sure. Fuck. So this one's really easy, but you can make it really interesting. Let's go reverb, just basic plugins. Reverb. Always cut the lows on reverb. Although I have reverbed a sub before for like an echo out, and it was kind of cool. And you want to crank this out to beautiful. And then this reflect, I like that because it adds a little high. So then you go here, and you change this to resample, turn that on, solo this, and hit record. Yep, right on the money. And then you have, now you cut this off, do that. You want that little pop, so you want to switch that. So that can be an impact or a riser. So I'll save this. I have one down here that I just turn off, and then you just make this like your dump. And then on the top, when you click these, Command R, and then rename it impact or a downlifter. I'd say downlifter. Downlifter. Now for another one, you can auto pan and make it like a wavy effect on it. Where's this thing? Auto. So this, when you turn it up, basically what it does is it splits the signal. So like when the signal's coming in, you just have to think of it like there's a fucking blade in there, and it's like slicing it into different areas. That's why it looks like a cross. So that when you play it left and right, but it's too slow, so we want to go like maybe a quarter.
You just use like a shaker, like the rhythm of the song.
Yep, and you can also do this rate. You can automate that and go. So let's say we're on it this far. We can go. Oh shit, that's not the one. Automate the rate. There we go. So for here, since it's on, let's go take it out to here. We'll bring this down. Yeah. So like 112. See, it kind of like flutters it. Mm-hmm. It's better with the hertz setting, but the hertz setting only goes up like so far, and I don't like that because it can't get it as detailed as this one, right? So I usually automate that, and it doesn't sound that right. Maybe it's here. Maybe you're at the end. Fuck it. And now in the waveform, you can kind of see how it does that little flippy flop. So that one, I put that one down here and do like flutter down lifter. Now with these, I'll take this out, and then let's make some riff shit. Let's make some riff shit.
Dual pulse.
I always make a dual pulse. I always make a dual pulse one. Bring this up. I don't know how this plugin is not more popular than it is. It is amazing. That's so cool. Yeah, build up, intro, like right before, like a mix-in part would be fucking sick. This would be. It's funny too, because I always name these dual pulse. Dual pulse. But you see how like low they are here. When you export them, you're gonna want to like normalize. I think there's a setting for it to normalize it to the peak of the like that highest one.
Yeah.
It normalizes it to keep it there instead of doing it like it is. That sounds way better. Like this one too would be, it's probably the same, I'm guessing. 6.69. Nice. 6.69. See, now you have your more consistent sound here.
Yeah.
Let's go. This growl is fucking awesome too for these sustains because it has a lot of sound to work with. If it's like a one shot, it'll mangle it, you know, but it'll sound pretty similar to the growl already because there's a lot going on with the growl. But with these sustains, you can get that tone that you want. That's why you tweak it first to get the. When I tweak that sound, like the, let's turn this off real quick so I can show you. There's some like highs in there I was looking for. When I tuned this, I wanted to catch those highs. When I take this bend down, it's just like a straight sound, right? But when I bend it, it kind of makes the highs a little bit more prominent. It added a little bit. So now Rift, when it does the distortion algorithm with Rift, what it does is it comes in here and see how that stuff's moving. It basically just moves the sound as it goes through this. So this is like, if the sound is going like into the computer, all it does is that bar just kind of chops up the sound, and when it chops it up, it throws it into these filters like this one that's moving. So then you get the distortion effect.
Oh, I see exactly what you're
Sick.
saying.
So yeah, when you're looking at sound, there's two ways of looking at it. One is linear, like through time, and one is in the present. And this is like the present moment here. This is linear through time. So you got to think about it in those terms. And like a limiter at the end is like what I was saying with that Play-Doh analogy. The limiter is just basically takes the sound, because the sound goes out in a circle. Like if you rotated that waveform out, like on SoundCloud, it would look like a cylinder, right? So that cylinder goes through the limiter here. The limiter basically just cuts off the edges of the sound so that it doesn't crackle and sound like shit on the speakers. So if you have too much of that stuff slipping out, that will clutter up the sounds that you want in the mix. If it slips outside that limiter, then you don't have the punch of the sound you originally designed. You're just catching the fringes of it. The limiter takes the fringes and shaves those off into something that's usable. So that's why it's always at the end, because you want to shape the sound as much as you can first, and then you mix it, which mixing is all you're doing is picking the most prominent sounds at that time. That's all mixing is. Yeah. And then mastering is taking off all of it's like a cake. When they bake a cake, you know how they cut it around and make it perfect? That's all it does. It's like dressing the cake up. That's sick. Let's do that one. Just do like a growl. Sustain. And then move this out here. Go back to riff. That was cool. Let's do that one too. It could have sounded cooler with the thing though. Let's see if it sounds. I always edit those things too, like these.
You ever mess with it?
I do, yeah. If it's like the sustains, if I want just character to it, but I love the original sound. Like this one, it just kind of
Edge to it.
maybe like 75.
Damn, that actually sounded cool.
It's got some tonal, like a
Almost like a piano.
tonal. Just make that. Yeah, it's got like, it plays notes. And the cool thing about this is, yep. So when you hit the, can I make this bigger? No. When you hit this one here, the dial, Then you can see what it's shape. This is an LFO. It's just controlling the volume pretty much, and you can change its shape too. So this one it can go. But these are really basic. That one. That's cool. This one. And if you like this one, but it's not doing exactly what you want, this button here will make it bigger and you can draw it.
Oh my.
So yeah, so let's take this out and make that like a mirror image of itself. You just double click these and they go away. So let's meet it in the middle. And then make this, you just drag the curves like that.
Yeah.
I like that line it had though, that was kind of cool. I'll make another point here. So that's how you can make the beat though, you know? But it goes in 1 bar increments, I think, or 2 bar increments for this one.
Okay, yeah.
So it just goes to, you know, the end of this. But there's all these, this is the original one.
As I said, the beat of the song.
Yeah. Also, if you're making a song too, I didn't do this before, but it's set at 120 right now. So you should probably crank that up to 130. It's not going to affect the sample. Like, the sample's still going to sound the same. Yeah. But you want to do it just so you have a good idea of, what are you doing? Tonal 2, tonal 3. So then we want, like, so now we have the beat part of it. Let's do a, oh, they have this beat damage one too. So that editor that I just pulled up here, yeah. This right here is the LFO, but the way Rift does it is it controls the filter. So you see how it's moving through time here, and this filter's moving. So all these are controlling parts of this filter. This thing here is programmed to these knobs. Yeah. So when this goes up, one of these goes up or down, or like multiple can go up and down. That you can get really complex with it and tune it exactly how you want it. But the cool thing about Rift is you don't have to do that. You can just find a cool sound and then edit it in the audio. Like if I just wanted a piece of this audio, I don't have to use this whole thing. You know, you can chop it up like you do any other sound. But the benefit of Rift is it has an LFO, the distortion, the delay and reverb, and a pulse. It has like literally everything that you would throw on a chain in one plugin. That's why it's so easy. When I was first learning, this was like it had V1, and the V1 looked so complex. I was like, nope, no way I'm gonna fucking learn this. There's too much stuff. Yeah. So you want to have an understanding of what the sounds are doing before you kind of throw it into this, and that's why it's better to start producing with samples, I think, because someone who's really knowledgeable has already made the sounds, and you don't have to like go through the whole thing. I like that. That tail was sick. Okay, we made some tonals. Let's make a pad. Go through here. And this one's obviously pad expanse. So I want, whenever I'm designing too, I want a pad that has a little movement to it and one that's flat, perfectly flat. Like you want a background noise to fill the space, and then you want something to keep people moving. So you need to find one that's just flat for now. That was perfect.
So is that just like something you leave in the background, like an ambient sound type thing?
Yep. And you'll crank this one like really, really far down.
Yeah,
We'll make a whole song with this real quick, and I'll show you the pad. Go. So now I want one that's like a little bouncy. That's cool. I want that one too. So then you can have two pads. Like this could be the pad for the second drop, you know? Like the break after the first one, you could introduce this one because it's a little more complex than the other one. Pad 2. And when I'm designing too, you want to, your songs, when you make the song, you want to start out very simple, but you want to focus on the sound. When you first start, you want to highlight the sound that's going to be the theme for the whole song, right? But you want it to be pretty simple. And then when the drop hits, then the next drop, you want to variate the mix part after that. So the mix part after that would be that pad 2 because it's got a little bit more going on. And that one, I would just layer those two. I would layer the first pad, have that the main pad, and then crank the other one down a little bit and focus on maybe the highs, and then put that on top of it. So then you have variation in your track, and people aren't getting the same thing. Some producers do like the same exact thing and then duplicate it just because they focus on the drop because there's not a lot going on, or they want it to be easily mixable in any, like they want the whole mix-in part to be almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes you need tracks like that, but for generally when you're producing, you want to go up in complexity as the song goes. So you want to add more elements. Bass Nectar was a master at this. He would do every 4 bars, he would introduce a sound, and it wouldn't come in like very hard. He would introduce a sound like maybe 2 bars before, but he would fade it in so you got a preview, and then your ears were constantly getting this new, he would fade in and fade out sound so well that like the track was interesting, but you couldn't tell what the fuck was going on unless you were like, you had a really good ear for it, right? Yeah. So he kind of made that popular in the trappy dub realm, and it's kind of taken off since then, and people have learned from it because he's him and Mr. Bill or Ill Gates did like a course on it, and a bunch of people took that, and so that's kind of like taken over the genres, like the producing style. So you can also break that rule and be a little bit different too. You can introduce sounds really hard now, and now it's different because everyone's been producing like that for so long. Where's that bouncy one? I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. And see how we've only done one key? Like now I have all of it in audio and I can just pitch it up. So bouncy pad. So we have almost all of the sounds that we need right now. You have, what are these? These are tonal sounds for drop. Yeah, that'd be like a drop sound. Let's just name these drop sounds. Drop sound, and then drop sound. And then you want to stay organized with your naming conventions too. Since I'm not doing this for a specific song, I'm just naming it in general, like whatever they are. But if I was working on Blackout, I'd say Blackout Pad, Blackout Pad 2, Blackout Bouncy Pad.
That way when you save them, you know what it's from.
Yep. And then then you have folders for each one. Like organizational wise, you have your sound folder, then you have your individual song folders. And then for me, I have my main folder, the sounds one here, that I use for like pretty much every song that has all my go-tos in this one. And if it's a really good one that I use a lot, like these risers I'll probably keep, and I'll throw them in my main riser one on here. You just like staying organized is going to help you get the idea out faster because you're not searching for it all the time.
Right.
Let's try these and then I think we're good. We got LFO. That was like techno-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything really. Yeah.
Let's do like a. I would say this is like kind of a lead.
Yeah.
Lead. And then we've done all of this. What else do we need? I don't think we need anything else. So we can just add some like regular FX too, because you don't have to make like air risers every time.
Yeah.
If you have a good air riser, you have a good air riser. It's not like, it's not complex at all. Let's just turn this off. And now let's just keep it at 130, so it just makes it simple, and do a drum loop. This one would be good. I like that one. That last half of that was pretty cool. So let's do this. Actually, let's make a new audio track. Put this up here. Color those. What is it? I like this one right here. So let's make the drop first. And do, so we're gonna start with the pad, layer the pad. New audio track. This. Let's duplicate that the whole way, and then so we'll make it like a 4-bar loop. And that's like a build. I like that.
Yeah.
Kind of the same. So let's introduce that there. That was not even. There. We're just gonna like build this up, and this is just general format. You carve it out after.
Yeah.
And so let's do FX down here. Audio track, boom, boom. And let's do a riser here. I'll flip you. So when you do this too, it'll make your life a lot easier. See how it goes past a little bit, this little section here? Just cut that off.
Yeah.
Cut that off, and then you can reverse it, and then if you want it, you can just bring it back.
Yeah.
But it just makes it fit way better, and you're not like micro lining it up the whole time. Well, okay. Fuck you, man.
I think you're in record. Or
That
resampling.
one's off. Yeah, let's add that bouncy one here, or the other one. I like that a lot, though. Where's the bouncy one? Let's use that as the build.
Hell yeah.
I like that movement it has. So then for this build, let's do this and go here. And then we're gonna join these two, Command J, and then we'll pitch this one up, clip, transpose from the beginning to here. Yeah, we'll go up like, I usually only go up 2, but we'll just accentuate this. So then we'll cut this end out and hit like a harder one of these. What was that hard one? I like that one. track, drop this here. Now with these two, you can do this, assign track color. That will help a lot. Off a little bit. I think that one would be better. There's a lot going on with this. We're gonna have to EQ that out, so I would rather go here with that, duplicate. Let's get the same color. And I would, this tonal, since we have so many of them, I would swap it probably. Maybe we do one of these. Or with that sound, we could even throw this in at the end. Like, okay, we need another fuck. We need another track. So audio track. Boom, 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 boom. Am I still getting a, what is this? Okay. Let's do this pad has a lot of bass. So let's cut this. And so with this one, since it's in D and I have a really good sub for D, I would throw the sub on. Let's do that. I'm gonna cut this. Somewhere between 100 and this first bar here is where you want to sit at, but the way you know where to go is if it starts cutting off sound that is vital to that sound. So like if I play it, if I take this out, too much of it's gone. I want those mids, but I don't want the bass to clash with the sub I'm about to put in, so I'm gonna do it like right there.
Yeah.
And then up here, I'll add a new audio track and put that sub in. Audio sounds. And
The good stuff.
the good stuff. That's the one. Shit. And then you want to, usually I have a beat in my head that I'd like to go with, but for here, I would do one here, and then right on that hit, have another one. And then let that, because there's a kick there, yeah. And I don't want it to clash here. So let's ride this one out and then hit it again here. Again with this, I can go, and this one, well, since there's so much room here, yeah, we're gonna do like a little triplet kick with this thing. And I don't know if you know how to do this, but you can go here and go triplet grid, and then it switches to triplets. Oh shit. Yeah, so we can go. Then go did it. So we'll go here, do. Maybe this, and then another one here. Yeah. So then we have almost half of it. So let's do a different pattern for this last half. We go. See, it sounds fucked up. Yeah. So I'll maybe do like a short one with a gap. Let the and then hit on the snare there. Take this one and hit on the snare. Now you have your bass pattern, basic as fuck. Now we have a riser too, so we can go here and take this and go here. Let's probably need to get cranked on the audio because we didn't do that before. This is why you normalize them so you don't have to do this every single time. There's a lot of mids clashing. With this one, so we're just gonna do some carving real quick with the EQ. Yep. Carving real quick with this because there's a tone that we want. And it's right here. There's some highs. I think we have the highs from something else. So I like that. Now, if I want to make it stand out more, then you hit OTT, and we'll tune the, take these lows out because we don't want to introduce any more. See, without it, you go flat as fuck. Kind of brings shit out, and I can even go one more. That's pretty sick. So now we have to do the same thing because this one, there's probably similar characteristics. You can copy, just like copy paste, 2 different channels too. So with this one, let's just keep the highs on this one. That's fucking cool. And then, okay, so this is what I was saying with like the introducing parts. So with this one, I would go the mixing tool, and I would go here, doom, crank this down, automate, basic at minimum. You want to automate the highs, bring the highs in because we're already going to cut the lows. So you want to bring the highs in from the mids, and you're going to tune this with your ear. That's almost too much, so I would go even lower. Yeah. And then once I have that right, then I curve it a little bit just so it's not super linear. And then you want to automate, usually you want to automate the gain. This is just the fader on a fucking mixer, right? So go. But we need to EQ it first. EQ8, take those lows. Same as the other one, probably. Beautiful. Take that over here. And then I wash it out too. With this mixing tool, it makes it so fast because you can like, you don't have to think about things. See, it's coming from space now. But I mean, that's already an idea for a song right there, right? And how long? So if I was doing this, I usually, it's one of 2 ways. I have a beat, and I do the beat way, and I make all that, and then add the sounds later. Or you make the sounds first, and then you add the beat, because right now we may not even use this drum loop, but right now I know that this sounds pretty fucking sick. Yeah. Probably save this for another idea later. I just wanted to be creative. This is why you should never not have a day you're not producing. If you're not, if you only do it for an hour, how long does this take us? 45 minutes. Yeah, like now I have a song pretty much like this could even be an intro to a heavier drop, you know?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So you could have an intro here, have this as like kind of the drop where people think it's the drop, but it's not the drop, and then right after this you go straight into a build, and then you're at your actual drop, right? Let's run it back. Let's add a mixing tool on this beach. Make it sound a little cool. And the mixing stuff helps in the littlest ways. You wouldn't think that it does, but it really kind of motivates you to keep going. If you don't mix the stuff in, it just sounds very flat and like a wall of sound. You're like, that sounds like shit, but it doesn't. You haven't put the work into it yet. That was off. That's why it sounded all weird. That's honestly like a perfect mix in. Like that would be where I would start the song, and then you can go in with a heavy drop and just fuck with this now. Yeah. Now you're still using the same sound, but this one can be so pure without the riff and everything. You could just smack people in the face with it. 100%. That's where I would go. Sometimes you make the drop sounds. Sometimes that is the drop sound because it was such a good sound. Yeah, you don't have to do any other work to it. But this. Oh, you want to see the fucking how much a master helps too? With this, before I would do that, I go here, go 808, go here, go drums, go here, go pad, and we're not using this one. This one's highs. This one is probably mids. This one is shut up. Techno. And then this one is the FX. Now in 2 seconds I've just labeled all my shit, and then I just color it my color. Go here, boom, pad is orange, boom, 808 is purple, harv, and then hey, and drums up here are blue, boom, boom, FX is green.
You start grouping them together.
Yeah, so here I would just do all the bass elements, Command G, go, I'd even say this is like leads, maybe. And then I put bass and leads, and then you have your tonal stuff down here, and then FX at the very bottom. Yeah. But these I'm not using, so essentially it would look like this, and without this. And then right now you have like, basically your project is done, and then I would save it as this if I didn't really want to continue it, and then do something else, you know.
And then come back, and then you have like sound design sessions where you do sound design, and you have like where you go and like build a song.
But sometimes they overlap, because like with that last song that I showed you, sometimes you need a sound that fits, and sometimes the sound design session sounds don't fit, and if you can't make them fit with processing, then you have to find a sound in the project and sound design it in the project. But it's a good exercise to do it here first, because if I had to find the sound for that song, I could just do this exact process that I just did in the project, right, and then save all of the stuff. Right. So it depends on where your creative mind is at the time. If you're not feeling like making an entire song from scratch, do a sound design session. If you're not feeling like the complexity of sound design, then do a beat session, because that's super fucking easy. And if you have little things that make it easier for you to get your creativity out faster, then you're going to be able to crank songs out like nobody's fucking business, because you're not sitting there like, okay, I have this empty ass project and I don't know where to start. If you have an arsenal, then you can just throw shit together. And that's why I do this so fast, is because you just got to test shit. You got to test, like, if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, use it as a bookmark, and then try another sound until it fits. Eventually, it's going to fit. Right. But you got to listen to it 50 times. Right. You know? I do like that hit, though, when it comes in. That's fucking sick. Oh, master. I'll show you that real quick. So master. Oh, when you start a new project too, it has reverb and delay chains on. I always remove these. If you don't start with a template, it automatically adds those. I just remove those just in case, and they're taking up processor speed if you don't. So, and then if I get a master that works, so like a song that I made, that one that I made with Dane, that master is the one that I've been using for a while now because I got the sub to hit really, really perfectly. I got it tuned, and I usually use the same subs. But even with subs that I don't use normally, this master usually works with it. So I just add this, and it's already done for me pretty much. It does the mid side. All this is doing is regular compression. You're adding some saturation. You do mid side EQ to split the highs on the sides, and the mids you want to punch straight. So you have a mid side here. Then you have the low end tuning, which this is what I was doing with the song with Dane. And this is like micro shit. Like you have to tweak these a little bit, the amount and stuff. So what I do is I solo out where's this bass? Solo out the bass. Then on your master. So with that one, it's pushing the bass a little too hard. So I would crank this down. It's all about just dialing. You're not going to fuck up if you change the dials. And I crank them to extremes. And then when you crank them to extremes, then you have your limits. And then you kind of just flip-flop it until it finds the sweet spot, right? So this one may not be the right mastering channel for this, but it'll do the job. And then the glue compressor at the end, the glue compressor and this compressor are doing different things. I have 3 compressors on it. The multiband dynamics one is an OTT, basically just brings everything up, right? It's just bringing all the sounds to the front so we can work with it down the chain. And then I gained it down 6 here. That was for the other song. And then I gained it back up because when you gain it down, you have your main song, right? You have your main sound. And then you're going to add this multiband dynamics here, and it's going to just shove everything to the top. So you take it down 6 or however much. It's usually 6. I just throw a 6 on there. Take it down 6. Then you add the compressor to bring everything back up because it's going to like, you take it down and you compress it, but it's not going to go all the way back up because the compression does its job and brings everything equal. It brings all the sounds closer to equal, but you have headroom. So this next one, this up 4, is bringing it back to the level that we want it. And then you saturate it, you make the sound fatter, you make every sound in there like just thicker. And then mid side, I told you what that was. The low end, this one is the same thing. It's a multi-band compression, but it's just focusing on the lows. Like you see the limits here. This one is focusing on 98 and below. This is the mid, but the highs are only at 1.66. So your whole spectrum, it's only going up to here. This compressor here is only working with this amount of sound on the low end on your sub. So we're just tuning the sub because we kind of mangled it here just to bring the highs out, and now we've got to wrangle the sub back in. We have to adjust it to fit with our new highs because it probably brought the sub back. It probably brought it up, and it's going to be clipping. So we got to adjust that. That's what I was doing just a second ago. And then another utility to bring the gain back up because this one probably on that song took it down. And then the glue compressor at the end takes all of that shit that we just did and makes it sound cool. Like it makes it sound all together. And then that's what you're going to tune with the threshold and makeup. Usually just leave these. You don't on your master, you don't really have to fuck with this too much. I always do soft clip because the soft clip will always keep you in the green. Some people don't. Clipping is like a fucking like old school guys really cared about clipping, but you can adjust the clip on the mixer. You're a DJ. If you're a producer and you're not playing it live, then you have to care about clipping, but we're playing it live. So if the speakers can handle it, I want all of those sounds. Right. So depending on what your preference is, you can do it. I would always leave it on when you're first starting though. And then you have the limiter, like I was saying at the end, that just shapes that sound and cuts off all the bullshit that got introduced when we did the master. And so this is the with it. Oh fuck. And this isn't mixed. These are all at 0.
Yeah,
So we haven't prioritized the sounds first. Before you throw this on, usually like they'll tell you in classes and courses that you want to mix then master. I throw the master on first and then I mix to the master. Like
that better. Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, and it doesn't sound like shit when you're producing and your song sounds like shit and you're like, "Oh man, I just can't wait to get to the master." You're not going to put all your effort into it, you know? Might as well get it sounding perfect like how you want it at the end, and then making it fit to, like, I know this works. I made songs with this master chain. I know this works really well. And so I'm going to make it fit this master chain. If I need something else, I'll add it. And this is bone stock too. Like on mine, I would use obviously a different compressor, different saturator, probably a different EQ. And then the glue compressor here is actually really good. But and a different limiter. So this is a stock chain, but you can literally just double click it, and then your song, if you had a bullshit song and you threw this on there and did minor tweaks, you could post it.
Yeah.
And it would sound okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that was under an hour. We made a pretty much the theme of the whole song just from a sound design session.
You can fuck it up with whatever you want right there.
Yeah. So, cool. I'll cover that one.
That's pretty fucking sick.